What if the most powerful thing you could ever do is nothing? No angry texts, no late night calls, no passive aggressive posts, just silence. Cold, deliberate, unshakable silence. Not out of weakness, but out of absolute control. Your silence is the closure. It's the punishment. It's the message. Because when you truly go silent, not just for a day, but for good, people hear it in ways words could never convey. She expected noise. She expected you to spiral, to beg, to prove your worth. She expected the same old pattern, the one she may have even created. But this time, something broke. And it wasn't just your heart. It was the illusion that she could leave and still have access to you, that she could walk away and still occupy space in your mind. She thought you'd stay emotionally available while she explored other options. She gambled that you'd still be waiting when she got bored. But you vanished. Not in bitterness, not in rage, in peace. And that's what makes it brutal. Most men react emotionally. They chase. They over-explain. They beg to be understood. But a Stoic man? He does the opposite. He lets go. He feels the pain, but he doesn't become it. He doesn't need her to know how much he cared. He doesn't need closure to move on. His silence is his closure. It says, I have nothing left to give you. You don't get access to my energy anymore. You chose this, live with it. And that silence? It will haunt her, because it creates a void, a space where she once felt power, where your attention, your emotion, your presence used to be. She'll look for it again. And when it's not there, that's when regret creeps in. Not when you're texting, not when you're calling, but when you're gone. Off the map, evolving in the shadows. This isn't about revenge. It's about reclaiming your power, turning heartbreak into fuel, mastering emotional discipline so well that your silence becomes the loudest thing in the room. This is where Stoicism meets dark psychology, where self-control becomes attraction, where detachment becomes dominance, where silence becomes the weapon she never saw coming. So I'll ask again, what if the strongest thing you could ever do is nothing? If you're done begging for clarity, if you're done waiting for someone who made you an option, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. 1. The power of silence. Silence isn't weakness. It's warfare. It's the move she never expects because it doesn't feed her ego, confirm her power, or offer her comfort. Most men, when heartbroken, panic. They blow up her phone. They pour their hearts out in long texts, searching for the perfect words to bring her back. But here's the hard truth. Every message you send after she walks away just proves she still has control. Silence is different. Silence happens when a man decides he's done performing, when he realizes energy is valuable, and not for someone who treats him like an option. When he understands that not responding is the most powerful response of all. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of meaning. It tells her, you don't get to walk away and still hear from me. You don't get to reject me and keep my attention. You don't get both. The moment you go silent, the power shifts. You're no longer reacting. You're no longer reaching. You're no longer available, and that absence, it becomes loud. She notices it in the mornings when she doesn't wake up to your name. She hears it in the notifications that never come. She feels it when she posts something and doesn't see your name in the likes. That silence becomes a vacuum, forcing her to sit in the space she thought she wanted. And here's where the Stoic man separates himself. He doesn't go silent for attention. He goes silent because he's done seeking it. His silence isn't manipulation. It's self-respect. When she realizes you're truly gone, no breadcrumbs, No, just checking in texts. It hits differently. Because she's used to noise, drama, reaction. But you gave her nothing. And nothing is the one thing she can't spin, can't fight, and can't forget. If you're done reacting, if you're done playing the fool, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. My silence is my strength. 2. Control what you can. Release what you can't. Pain hits hardest when you try to control the uncontrollable. You can't force someone to love you. You can't argue them into seeing your worth. And you definitely can't make her stay if she's already halfway out the door. The moment you try, you give your power away. You trade your peace for a fantasy. Most men get stuck here, trying to fix what was never theirs to fix. But the Stoic path teaches something different. You only control 2 things: your actions, your mindset. Everything else, let it go. When you stop trying to change her, you start changing you. You stop begging for clarity. You stop performing for approval. Instead, you lock into your own code. A Stoic man doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He accepts, not because he doesn't feel, but because he refuses to be ruled by it. Her pulling away doesn't shake him because his identity isn't built around someone else's presence. He controls his frame. And when she realizes her leaving didn't unbalance you, that's when regret creeps in. Here's the truth. Most breakups feel like chaos because you're trying to reverse the outcome. You replay conversations, reread texts, wonder what you could have done differently. That's emotional slavery. Freedom comes when you decide, she's gone, and I'm still me. You stop asking why and start building what's next. That shift from reaction to intention is where everything changes. You don't get stronger by controlling others. You get stronger by mastering yourself. You become magnetic when you stop chasing and start choosing. The moment you accept what you can't control is the moment you become untouchable. If you're done trying to rewrite her decision, if you're ready to master your response, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. I master what's mine and release the rest. 3. Attraction through absence. There's a reason why disappearing works. It's not a trick, it's human psychology. We crave what's rare. We chase what pulls away. The moment you remove yourself from her world, you become more valuable than any message you could have sent. When you were always available, always texting, always reacting, she knew you were there. Predictable, easy. But when you go quiet, when your presence vanishes, that's when her mind starts spinning. Where is he? Why hasn't he reached out? Is he over me now? Suddenly, she's the one chasing answers. And that's where attraction begins. Here's the cold truth. Most women don't regret losing a man who begged. They regret losing the man who made them feel safe, then vanished with dignity. The man who had feelings, but wasn't controlled by them. That's stoicism paired with dark psychology. You don't give her the comfort of knowing you're still lingering in the background. No, you cut the supply. You disappear, not to hurt her, but to honor yourself. Because if someone can walk away from you without hesitation, they don't deserve front row access to your healing. You become more attractive when you create distance. Not fake distance, real, intentional absence. The kind that forces her to face the consequences of her decision. The kind that makes her question what she thought was guaranteed. And if she doesn't regret it, good. You've already leveled up. If she does, even better. You're no longer waiting. Absence creates demand. And that demand? It's built on silence, on discipline, on the strength to pull back and let your presence do the talking. She'll notice. She'll wonder. But you've moved on. You've become scarce. And in a world full of desperate attention, scarcity is power. If you're done proving your worth and ready to let your absence speak for you, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. My absence creates value. 4. Let her sit with her choices. Stop rescuing people from the consequences of their own decisions. She made a choice when she pulled away, when she stopped showing up, when she let you go. And whether she did it quietly or with drama, it was still a choice. Most men, when they feel that sting, want to fix it. They reach out. They try to make sense of it. They search for closure. But all that does is soften the blow she was supposed to feel. If you step in to relieve her guilt, you rob her of the regret. You make it easy. You give her an emotional safety net. And she doesn't deserve one. Let her sit with it. Let her wonder why you never came back. Let her scroll through your feed and see silence. Let her realize she's no longer the center of your world, that your attention isn't a guarantee. It was a gift, that your love wasn't weakness. It was rare, and now it's gone. This is where stoicism gets brutal, not because you're cold, but because you've accepted reality. You don't hate her. You don't wish her harm, but you're done saving people from themselves. You don't soften the lesson just because it's someone you cared about. You let them feel it fully, because only then do they understand what they lost. If you want a woman to regret losing you, don't send a long message. Don't try to explain the depth of what you gave. Just leave, quietly, fully, and rebuild without her. That's when the silence starts screaming. That's when she realizes, I didn't lose just any man. I lost him. And by the time she figures it out, you'll be long gone. Not out of spite, out of discipline, out of growth, out of respect for the man you're becoming. If you're done shielding her from the fallout she created, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. She made her choice. I made my peace. 5. Rebuild in silence. Rise in shadows. The loudest moves are made in silence. The greatest comebacks don't start with announcements. They start with isolation, focus, and discipline. After heartbreak, most guys want to be seen. They want to show her they're doing better, post their glow up, prove they've moved on. But that's still reacting. That's still performing for her attention. A stoic man doesn't post his progress. He becomes the progress. He doesn't need applause or validation. His grind is personal. His evolution is private. When you rebuild in silence, you rise without noise. You stop explaining and start executing. You hit the gym, not to flex on her, but to reclaim your body, your power, your control. You level up mentally, financially, spiritually, not for revenge, but because staying broken is no longer an option. And here's what makes it powerful. She won't see it coming. While she's expecting a version of you stuck in pain, you're outgrowing the entire situation. There's something deadly attractive about a man who vanishes into discipline. No tweets, no updates. No, look at me now. Just silence. And then one day, she stumbles across the new you. Not the one crying over her. The one who doesn't even blink when her name comes up. The man who used to beg now walks with purpose. And that hits her harder than anything you could have said. This is where dark psychology kicks in. People chase what they no longer understand. Mystery triggers obsession. She starts wondering how you healed, who you became, what she missed out on. But by then, you won't be performing. You'll be too busy living, too focused on purpose to worry about proving anything to her. If you're done trying to be seen and ready to move in silence, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. My growth speaks louder than words. Final note. This is where the game changes. Where heartbreak becomes fuel. Where silence becomes your greatest weapon. You don't need her regret to validate your worth. You don't need her attention to confirm your power. You just need you, the version of you that walks away, rebuilds, and never looks back. That's the man she'll remember. That's the man you were meant to be.